Hey adventurers, so today is of course Tolkien Reading Day, which is March 25th, if you're watching this on the day of release. And I am excited to do this video. I love Tolkien Reading Day, I love Tolkien, I love this character that I'm going to be talking about, which is Tom Bombadil. The title that I have given for this video is Why Tom Bombadil. Basically, this is asking, why does Tom Bombadil exist? Why is he an important part of the story itself? And this is a video that I have been thinking about for a very long time, a topic that I've been thinking about for a very long time, and have been building thoughts and stuff, and it's mostly just been in my brain. But in January, I believe it was, I did a Motley Crue chat with Tori from Tori Talks, and in that chat, I believe it was in that chat, maybe it was before or after when we were chatting a little bit, she specifically requested that I make a video about Tom Bombadil and his reason for inclusion in The Lord of the Rings, because he is a stumbling block to so many readers. He's one of those characters that is very hard to understand. Why is this character here? It feels so out of place, it feels so wrong, especially if you've only ever watched the movies and you go and you read these books, and you read the books, and just bam, there's this crazy character singing and dancing and hopping along, and you're like, what is going on here? And so it does feel out of place to some degree, but most Tolkien readers, or especially people who read the books first, are like, Tom Bombadil is one of my favorite characters. And so why is he important? What makes Tom Bombadil an important character to the story? And I'm not going to touch on why he was removed, but basically the reason why he's removed is because in the adaptations, they're adapting for a different story. They're not telling the same story as the books are, and I will get into that a little bit. So yeah, this is primarily a specifically very story focused video, very much focused on the storytelling aspect of why Tom Bombadil exists within the narrative. This won't be thematically. I do think that thematically Tom plays a very important role, and there's a lot of themes that Tom in these Tom chapters play into, that these themes are incorporated in through these chapters that Tom is a part of. And so thematically he is very important as well in a lot of different ways. I would point you to the channel Owen Edwards and his various videos on Tom Bombadil if you want to look more in the thematic and what Tom means a little bit more. I do have one other video about my theories about who Tom Bombadil is, that if you're interested you could go watch, but I would point you to Owen Edwards because he's got some great videos on Tom Bombadil. But yeah, I'm not going to so much talk about the themes. More, this video is going to focus specifically on the narrative reason for his inclusion, purely from a story perspective. And it's not going to be exhaustive, but it's going to be some of the main points that constantly rattle around in my head when I'm talking about this topic. So before I get started, I'm just going to say this: I am T. Welcome to An Erudite Adventure. We hope that you enjoy what you're watching, and we will continue on. So first and most importantly, what is The Lord of the Rings? Though the movies are the quest to destroy the One Ring, and that's a very simplified version, that's a very cinematic version. This is a quest to destroy the One Ring. That's a very cinematic, very easy to adapt version of this story. That's what the movies are. That is not the case with the books. The books are a memoir of the journey of 4 hobbits during the events of the War of the Ring, which is a very different story. Just from that title alone, it's a very different story. And once you can understand that alone sets the stage for being able to understand Bombadil's inclusion in this story. And I think that's a very important first step to take, is to understand what the story of the books are. And that is not the journey to, or the quest to destroy the One Ring. That is a portion of this story that is being told. That is not the main story that is going on. Because if the story that was going on was the quest to destroy the One Ring, you would see the story told from Frodo's perspective, and it would be only Frodo's perspective, and you would follow Frodo from the beginning to the end, and you wouldn't see you wouldn't have the book split up where you go see Rohan, Gondor, where you Isengard, the Ents, the Battle of Helm's Deep, Battle of Pelennor Fields, none of this stuff would be included because that's not pertinent to the story of the quest to destroy the One Ring, other than as extenuating circumstances, things that help the ring to succeed, or the quest to succeed. The story of a memoir of four hobbits, a memoir of the journey of four hobbits during the events of the War of the Ring, then you can understand why all these other things are included in this story that is that very stripped back, very basic, cinematic even overview of the story, being the quest to destroy the One Ring. So that's an important first step. I have now rambled far more than I intended to about that. Let's continue on. That difference right there drastically changes why Tom should or should not be included. And even there's a little bit of confusion. Maybe he should be included or he should not be included, but let's keep going. He plays a pivotal role in the journey of the hobbits, and since this is the memoir of the journey of four hobbits, he plays a pivotal role in that journey, and so you want to include him. He protects them, he guides them, he teaches them lessons, then he saves their lives and provides them with weapons so that they can go out into their own journeys and be better equipped, better prepared for this hard journey that they are about to undertake. And it has already been hard for the hobbits up to this point. It is in many ways their first test on a long road, but it is still a safe place to fail. And so, even that in and of itself is an important point to remember. A lot of characters have these safe places to fail back in their home village, in their hometown, while they're training, whatever it might be. The hobbits don't. These are just random people who have never gone on any adventures. They like their luxuries. They sit at home. They sit by a fire. They smoke their pipe. They eat food. They go to parties. That's their life. They don't know anything hard, and so they go through these journeys to get to this place, and they meet Tom, and it's a safe place for them to fail in some of these tasks and some of these challenges, and then to be able to move forward stronger, more equipped, better understanding the world that they are in. So that's the first and kind of one of the most important parts of why Tom Bombadil exists there. Largely due to the fact that they're in a different story than the quest to destroy the One Ring. He is a piece of the world. This is my next point. He's a piece of the world. Tom Bombadil is a piece of the world. If you are going on a journey, just wandering through the world, we will come across things, and we would expect to come across things, just random things that are unexpected, and though they play an important role in that stage of our journey, we may never see them again, we may never meet them again, they may never affect anything else for us beyond just that one stage of our lives that they were in, or of our journeys that they were in. And you can think of the random people that you've met throughout our lives. Some you may not even remember, but at that time when they entered your life, for whatever reason it might have been, they were a help of some sort. They influenced something. For some reason they were important to that moment in your life, and what, for good or ill, it can absolutely be for bad things, but it's that same type of idea. This is just a random character that they meet along their journey. Whether or not they ever meet him again is not important to this memoir that is being told. And that is exactly how Tom fits into this story. It fits into this world. He's just a piece of the world, and you come across it, it's something that happens, and you move on. And so again, for the movies, which is a very stripped back, very pointed, very directed story about the quest to destroy the One Ring, Tom Bombadil isn't necessary for that story. However, for the story of the memoir of four hobbits, he is. Alright, next point is his location in the story. This is both narratively and geographically. And both of those things actually tie directly into each other, and so kind of when I'm reading this, you think about both of those things together. He acts as one last relief from the darkness before heading out again into the wild. A breath of fresh air, a reprieve. His location is just outside the borders of the Shire. They come through the Old Forest, and then it's Tom's land. And so the Old Forest is part of the Shire, Tom's land is not, but it's before they arrive at Bree, and so yeah, we'll continue. His location is just outside the borders of the Shire, and narratively, directly after the hobbits have been terrified by the threat of the Black Riders, traversed the length of the Old Forest, and nearly been killed by Old Man Willow, which incidentally does actually foreshadow the Ents and some of the things surrounding the Ents later on down the road. And so it's important even in that moment for us to see that part of the story. Bombadil appears and is drastically different than anything we've seen before now. We've seen the characters with a love of nature. We've just met the elves earlier in the story. We've seen songs before now. We've seen characters who sing songs. We've seen characters with a love of nature, characters that are just jolly, who love life. But we've not seen anybody in quite this way, where these things are the entire being of this character. Speaking in a song, in a sing-song cadence, singing and skipping and wearing bright, dare I say, garish at times clothing, or to the eyes of the hobbits, it's not so garish, but to us, if we were to see it, what's it say? Bright blue his jacket is and his boots are yellow. That's not a very nice combination to our modern sensibilities of style and fashion. Those colors seem weird. To the hobbits, it's not quite so bad, but to us, that is a little weird. He has no fear of anything and just is an all-around spot of brightness. But most importantly, his home is safe. They can relax, they can breathe, they can set aside the fears of the days before. And so it is incredibly important after the intensity of the last few chapters that we do not realize how tense they were until we arrive at the house of Tom Bombadil, and we can breathe, we can relax, we can go to sleep with the hobbits, wake up the next morning to the rain showers and the singing, and they just spend the day with Tom and Goldberry, and they're able to talk, they're able to learn. And then they go back out into the world and get trapped in the Barrow Downs and have to have Tom come save them again. It provides so many of these moments of understanding that unexpected help will come along the way. That's getting into the themes of it a little bit. But there's this, again, like I mentioned earlier, this opportunity to fail while they are still in a safe environment to fail. And that's really good. It helps the hobbits to grow and to be able to move forward in their character journeys in this story that's going on. And my last point here is that it's a way to show the true threat of Sauron. He shows that the ring has no power over him. That's a very important moment. The ring has no power over Tom Bombadil. That's something that we have not seen before. That's something even Gandalf is terrified of the ring. There's this ring is very powerful, very dangerous, and then Tom just plays around with it like it's nothing. So he shows the ring has no power over him, and in that it gives us some hope that something of this world can survive or overcome the Dark Lord. But then during the Council of Elrond, it is made abundantly clear that Bombadil could not keep it safe. He would forget about it. He would toss it away, not understand the importance of why has this ring or anything like that. And it would just be a nothing to him. It would be a knickknack, a bauble that has no value to Tom Bombadil. Because it's not valuable to Tom Bombadil. That's not what Tom Bombadil values. And so it's very clear that Tom Bombadil is not a safe protector of the ring, but then also, not only could he not keep it safe, but that in the end, even Tom Bombadil would fall. Even this character who the ring has no effect on. If the Dark Lord were to reclaim the ring, or even if Tom was the one to be the guardian of the ring, and the Dark Lord sent all his forces against Tom Bombadil, Bombadil even would fall. And this being, this unknowable being that seems to hold true power, even he could not defy Sauron forever. And I want to quickly read from the book what Glorfindel says about Tom Bombadil here. And it's not going to be the whole thing, but it's during the Council of Elrond. Glorfindel, who is a very powerful character, and his history is very interesting. But he says, could that power be defied by Bombadil alone? In talking about the power of the Dark Lord. I think not. I think that in the end, if all else is conquered, Bombadil will fall, last as he was first, and then night will come. Even Glorfindel, this massively powerful elf lord, does not think that Tom Bombadil could survive or defy the power of the Dark Lord if Sauron were to attack him, were to send his full might. And so we see all this power that Tom Bombadil has, and that even he is not powerful enough to defeat Sauron. And so it shows the true threat of Sauron and why it's so important for us to destroy this ring, even though that's not the main story of the Lord of the Rings. It is a portion of that story, a very important piece of that story. And so, yeah, in that way he plays a very important role as well, narratively, by showing the power of Sauron. And that's the gist of it. That's the gist of my thoughts. There is more to say. There's more that could be said about Tom Bombadil, about his inclusion, about his narrative inclusion even, not to mention thematically why he's included and what he means and all that stuff. Just from a purely story perspective, there's some reasons why Tom Bombadil is necessary for the story. That covers several of the main reasons why Tom is important to the story. Obviously, those are my opinions, but I think that they are fairly obvious when you read the books why he is important, why he's an important character like that. So that's just what I wanted to bring with this video. Tori specifically asked me to make it, and it was the push that I needed to make this video because it's been in my mind for a very long time, and it's very good for me to have finally made it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.